Hello, everyone. Welcome to Make It Alexandria here on ZTV Live. I'm Alyssa Kovach, founder of Alexandria Makers Market. And during the show, I just get to talk to amazing makers that are located right here in Alexandria. Tonight, I am going to get to talk to Leah, who owns Modern Tally. She and I have worked together for a few different events over the last year or two. And I really just love everything that she puts together because it helps keep me organized. And I think that's the whole mission of Modern Tally, but to do it in a really cute way. So, you guys, please help me welcome Leah as she joins us. Hi, Leah.
Hey, Lisa.
How's it going?
Going pretty all right, I guess.
Good. Well, I'm so glad to have you here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. For anybody who might not have been exposed to Modern Tally at this point, maybe I know you've done Art on the Avenue and some really good shows around town, but let's face it, we are in a pandemic. So if they haven't crossed your path, could you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, please?
Yeah, so I'm Leah. I lived in Alexandria for 8 years, I think, and I've been sewing ever since I was a kid. And after I had my first son, I quit my full-time job and I was staying at home, needed something to do. So I started selling quilts. I was a quilter. And that just sort of gradually transitioned into what I do now, which is, bags and pouches and accessories and that kind of thing. So that's what I do.
And when we first connected, you were still mostly quilting, and I think just in that transition to Modern Tally. And so, talk to me about how that really, like, what was the inspiration then to switch from the quilts to what your current product line looks like now?
Yeah, so quilts, they take a lot of time, and if you really want to really make money from them, you have to charge a lot, which is a little bit of a hard sell when you can buy a quilt for like $30 at Target, like a baby quilt. So it's a tough thing to be selling. And I also really enjoy making pouches. Like I was a pouch maker long before I owned Modern Tally. So I just kind of started doing that. It was a little easier, and it's easier to convince someone they want a pouch than it is to convince them that they need a new quilt. So yeah, I just sort of shifted into that. And my name, as you know, before was Leah B Quilts. So I needed something that was a little more fitting for what I was doing now. And I actually hired a branding firm and I started working with them, and they helped me come up with this name Modern Tally, which I love because it's not specific, which was very important to me. But I think it's really fun, and it kind of, in a very sort of vague way, it gives off the vibe that I'm looking for, which is like very stylish and also just like a little bit whimsical and fun.
Oh, I think yeah, no, I think you guys all did a great job with this kind of reinvention of the brand, and Modern Tally does really capture it. I know that because I am one of your customers. Um, and so, talk to us then about the pouches. Kind of what is, I think that you have some function to your product line that that's driving your product. So, talk to me about some of the things that you make.
Yeah, it's really important to me. I think of that as like sort of my mission statement, is that these things are really functional, like they're made well, so they're going to last, but they're also beautiful because even like your utilitarian stuff, it doesn't have to look utilitarian. It can be fun and pretty. So when I think of sort of like my base product line is just zipper pouches. I have flat ones, and I have makeup bags that stand up and are boxed. So I have those, and then I also started branching out into more specific things. Like I sell Kindle cases, padded sleeves to keep your Kindle or your it doesn't have to be a Kindle, but an e-reader, and some like really large travel toiletry cases and that kind of thing. So that's what I've sort of started shifting into. But at its base, it's someone at a craft show said to me once, "It's stuff for your stuff," and I loved that. So
It really
yeah,
is stuff for yourself. That is
yeah.
perfect, actually.
So it's just the way to organize your things. Like I always have one of these in my tote bag full of snacks or hand sanitizer, like all the million things you need whenever you're out with your kids. Um, or like when I'm packing, I pack my headphones and my chargers and stuff in one, and jewelry and makeup in another. So just you always need somewhere to put your stuff.
And these are the kind of things that, quite frankly, I'm consistently replacing like my makeup bag or like my for my travel or when my kids were little in my diaper bag because like they're it's like dollar spot at Target. You can find them very easily. But when I made the switch to your, I think it's called the catch-all, right?
Yeah,
Is that
catch all
correct?
pouch.
Yeah. Um, First of all, I haven't had to replace it. I've had it for probably about a year and a half now. And second of all, it is just so much cuter than anything that I was buying in the store. So I just wanted to say that there definitely is a quality factor when we are going to, purchase from you.
Yeah,
And
I love
so
want things to be durable. I want them to hold up. So I'm glad to hear that.
no, they really do. And you can kind of see, guys, I've put mine to the test a little bit, but this is her flat one, you guys. And I'm going to tell you that I have 4 passports in here, my actual wallet, like a wristlet wallet, hand sanitizer, a mask, and probably some other things. But my point is, like, it really holds everything that I need. It's all white in one little bag. So we're good to go. I know where everything is. And so it really is. And it's not a big cumbersome purse because I don't actually have time for
Yeah.
that. So, what are some of the things that I know you're a huge, huge reader. And I think that has inspired some of your product lines. So why don't you kind of talk to us about that for just a moment? Because I love everything you have.
Yeah, thanks. Like I mentioned, I have just the pouches, which I think is sort of the basics, but I also have this sort of specialty line, which is like I have a Kindle case. Let me find here. Yeah, so a Kindle case, and also that led to some other things like this. This is a book sleeve, which you may not have heard of that, and that's okay. It was a little new to me too, but it's designed for you to like store your paperback in. So you can carry it around in your tote. And it's padded too, just like the Kindle cases or the e-reader cases, I should say. Um, you can throw it in your purse or your luggage or whatever, and your corners won't get dented, or like if something spills, it'll be a little bit protected. Some people like care a lot about their books staying pristine. I'm honestly not one of those people, but if you are, then this is what you use to make it happen. So I have those, and these actually match, obviously, the citrus. And then I also have a bunch of bookmarks that I make. These, I don't know, the glare. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah. So they're little corner things, and they just slip right over the corner of your page, oh yeah, there's a picture. I've got one here too. But yeah, so I started making those, and that I actually really like these because they use such small pieces of fabric that it was a way for me to start using up some scraps and minimizing waste because I cut a lot of fabric and I try to design my bags so that I minimize the amount of waste, but there's always going to be some. So these are like sized to fit exactly, my offcuts from some of these other bags, which I really like being able to do that.
I think that is an excellent use of what would be actually scraps at that point. But no, I
Yeah.
think they're so fun and they're so cute. And actually, I just gifted a makeup bag and one of your bookmarks to one of my
Yeah.
very dearest friends a week or so ago, and she thought it was really beautiful. Um, so the thing about this is that I feel like everybody has this in their life in some house, in some capacity. And so I think these make super easy gifts for people for when you like don't really know what to buy somebody, like buying them a really cute little bookmark and even a gift card. You can kind of stick the gift card up in there or an actual book as well. Like those are kind of just those easy generic that everybody's going to be okay with. Um, so I think that there's just a lot of opportunity. If somebody were looking for a great gift, I think moderntally.com is exactly
I
where they need to go. So we do have a question. Somebody would like to know if you have any crossbody purses, so maybe a little bit of a bigger size.
Okay, so I don't actually have those. At one point I had some shoulder totes. And I've had like wristlet clutches before, but it's this past year has been really hard, like with my kids not being in school. So I've had to sort of narrow things down a little bit. But definitely crossbodies are something kind of on my someday list. And I would also really like to bring back these wristlet clutches that I used to sell. So hopefully sometime soon in the future. But at the moment, no, I don't have that type of bag.
Got it. Well, I think also it sounds like there's some maybe some new products in the works. I don't know. Maybe you have some inspiration for 2021 of where this is growing. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. People are like leaving their houses again. So maybe we need bags to carry our stuff in.
With more masks and our hand
Yes.
sanitizer and
Mask coverage. Yeah.
that's right. And at one point, actually, speaking of, you were sewing masks as well. Is that something that is still happening or not?
Yeah. Well, it's much pared back because kind of the craze went away as everyone sort of had what they needed. But I do still have a few on my website. And just as I find like really fun prints, I just like, I kind of want this in a mask. So I have a few available. At one point, I had like 30 prints at a time. Right now, I'm down to like two or three. I do have kid masks in a couple different sizes, which I made because my kid started going back to school a couple days a week and they needed a bunch of masks. So that's sort of, I'm selling more of the kid sizes now because I think a lot of people are in that same boat.
Yeah, yeah,
So.
that makes sense. I don't know if we have a picture of this, but, and maybe you have an example on hand, I'm not sure. You had a really, really fun Bernie Sanders print of that.
Oh, yeah. I
Do
don't
you have an,
know. Let me see. I may have it right here. No, I don't know where it is right now. I don't want to waste a bunch of
not,
time trying to find it.
no, no. That was me putting you on the spot, so my apologies. But no, it was such a fun print, and I think that you designed that fabric yourself, which I find even more impressive. And so I'm just wondering if we're going to see maybe some more of that from you, where you kind of
I
really
don't that was
start to finish.
that was yeah, that was a really surprising hit for me. I made it like a photoshopped image as a joke after the inauguration. And then people were like, I actually want this. And I was like, well, okay. So I designed I had the fabric printed through Spoonflower. And I sold a ton of those bags. Like honestly, possibly more than I've ever sold of any other print before, which is like, guys.
I'm just
But
trying to
yeah,
like. I seriously thought about it, and I thought, do I really need Bernie Sanders greeting me every morning as I do my makeup? That was the thought that went through my head, and I was like, I'm going to hold off this time. But
a
but
lot
it
of
still
people
was
thought,
so fun.
yeah, I think it just, people got caught up in the moment. But it was really fun to do that, like have my own fabric. And that, I don't really consider myself like an artist in like that sort of sense, like making my own designs. But it is something I'm interested in exploring. So I had some fabric printed with a few of my like icons and like brand kind of stuff on it. So I'll play around with that and see where it goes, and we'll see. It would be awesome to be doing like exclusive, like modern tally exclusive fabrics.
Yeah,
So that's a someday goal for sure.
I love that. I think that's very cool. Something else that really I think sets you apart a little bit are your personalized tags, which
Yeah.
I guess folks don't have to get. I chose to get mine, so because I thought that that was super fun. Would you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So I just love, I had, when I first started, I had some people asking me about like monogram options. And when I hear monogram, like I grew up in Georgia. So when I hear monogram, I think of like big, like sorority girl, like very curly kind of, and that's not really my style. So I was like, I don't know. But I thought about it and I was like, I need to figure out a way I can do this. So I came up with these leather tags. Here, I've got one right here. Um, I hope, where's my camera? There it is. So I hope that you can see that. But so I have custom stamps like in my own font that I you can order anything. I can do up to like 10 or 12 letters. So I mostly do initials, but sometimes I do phrases, or like I can do numbers and symbols and stuff. And I hand stamp them into the leather, and then I attach them to the bag with rivets. I've got, oh, here's one. This is my own personal Kindle case. So it's got my initials there attached with the rivets. And I just really like it. I love the way it looks. I think it's so nice. Um, and yours, actually, the style you have is an older, it was before I got my nice
Yeah.
stamps. So I was actually like burning and individually heating each stamp. And it was a
Yeah.
whole process, like a ton of room for error. So I upgraded at the beginning of 2020. I upgraded my whole process, and it's been a lot easier now. But I really love the look. And it's for sure like one of my most, like everyone, almost everyone gets a monogram. So I really
I would
love
have
doing
to,
that.
yeah, no, I have to assume, and I think it does really, as I mentioned, it sets it apart, really. Does anybody else in my household have this bag? Do I need my initials on it? No, but I just think it, adds a little something extra. So
Yeah. It's
I think
practical.
that was
I like the utilitarian things. Like it just, this nice like leather, like this is my initials and this is custom made for me. I just think it makes it extra special.
absolutely, no, I agree. And as I mentioned, I gave my friend a gift and got her initials, and she had recently been married, so I was excited to,
Oh,
get her new married name in there. And so, yeah, no, I think it just, again, elevates as a great description. Um, no, so fun. So then talk to us a little bit about what your perspective is then from running this whole business out of from your home, which is kind of crazy, because you do a lot of work. This is not just like, oh, let me sew one little bag one week. You're quite busy, I'm assuming.
yeah.
So what are some of the like pros and cons there that keep you doing this?
Well, yeah, it's been feeling really hard like this last year, like I mentioned. So it's great that it's right here in my house because I can always like just sneak away for 15 minutes, or after the kids go to bed, I can, get in a couple hours of work, which is not something I'd be able to do if it were, in an external studio. So yeah, I love that. Like we have kind of a small house, and this is a small room. Like you can see from these pictures here, like that's basically the whole room that you're seeing. Like it's small. So I often feel like I mean, there's piles everywhere. You can see behind me, but there's a lot of stuff behind the camera that I just should have shoved away. So it can be a little bit hard to like operate essentially like a manufacturing business and like a shipping and packaging like center all out of the same, like 90 square feet. So that's really challenging, but it is cool to be able to do it from here. I'm able to stay home with my kids, and it's sometimes a lot to juggle, but mostly I'm really glad I'm doing it like this.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. I think, and I don't think that you're alone. I think most of the
Yeah.
people that have been on this show have felt that pressure of this
Yeah.
last year. Susan, would you mind showing some of the videos that we have of kind of the behind the scenes of Leah, like with the packaging and her hand stamping, all those good things that she works so I feel like you must batch your work quite a bit.
Yeah, I do everything assembly line style. I don't do anything like start to finish unless it's a custom or something like that. It's so much more efficient to go streamline like this, one step at a time. Figure out how to sort of delegate a little bit of work while I don't have room for her to come work with me. So I have to figure out how, like, what can I give to her separately? And, it's a whole nother challenge, which has been fun for me over the last about 6 months. I think I've been doing that. So
I really noticed in terms of, yeah, like this is a great example. I feel like these little behind the scene videos are so well executed. So not only are you doing the sewing and the shipping and the social media, but you're also creating, now you've become this production crew for yourself. And so talk to me a little bit about, is that something that you enjoy, or is this what you,
It's
is just another facet of the job?
yeah, it's hard. And I actually feel a lot of times like I am not doing a great job of that. So it's nice of you to say that. There are a lot of part of everyone who's doing like a homemaker business kind of thing like this. Like we're all wearing all the hats. And there are some people who are really good at this part of it, like the videos and making reels, on Instagram, TikToks, like all of that stuff. And I struggle with making time for that sort of work. Like, I mean, last week I just didn't post on Instagram at all because I hadn't thought of it before spring break. And so I didn't have time when my kids were, we were trying to do family stuff. So for me, it's hard. I enjoy it. Like I like taking pictures and it's kind of fun for me to think of fun videos to take. But it is definitely a challenge for me. So it's, something I'm always working on. Trying.
I love what we're seeing here, and how giftable some of your, I mean, not some, all of your products really are. That's so crazy. I'm sure that was, I mean, and just the fact that that's on like hyperspeed, and there's a lot. There's just so much from start to finish. So then when we look at this finished product, it shows up at our door and we think, okay, great, that was nice of her to make. But I think we all just saw, like, really there was a lot more to that
Yeah.
than just getting a zipper into this fabric. Um, so you execute it all very well.
Oh,
And at least from this side of the screen, I know that probably if we pulled the camera back, it would maybe not seem quite as seamless, but it
yeah.
really does. You have a great line going, and so I feel that way too. I really do. There's a reason why you only ever see this view. So from one small business owner to the other, I feel you. Yep, it's totally fine. Another question that I am seeing is,
Yeah.
there any zebra fabric? Because we have, of course, a lot of zebra print fans in our
Yeah.
audience.
Oh, that's a fun idea. No, I don't have any animal print. I've had leopard before, but I have not done that kind of thing. I don't really have much of a rhyme or reason as to like what prints I choose, what fabrics. So I just sort of go where the wind blows me. But maybe I should check out some zebra. That's fun.
I feel like that would be, for me, the hardest part. I would get on the fabric websites and I would just become paralyzed. Like, so many options. How do you really kind of like hone that down into just the, maybe 20? I don't know. How many prints do you think that you work with at it during a given
Uh,
time?
it's actually a little, not that many. I think it's probably under 10 right now, which is,
Oh,
I would consider low. In the past I've had way more, but that's been sort of part of my process of like streamlining and efficientizing how I do, is just to have fewer options. Like as I have more and more products, if you multiply that times every print, every fabric I carry, like it turns into an unmanageable amount of inventory for me to really manage. So I've kind of
yeah.
narrowed it down a bit. One of the things that I try to do is I stick with a few exceptions, I stick with like canvas heavier fabrics just because I think
Okay.
they feel nicer, they wear a little better. So that helps me. Like there's so many really cute prints out there that are just on like plain cotton, and I have to sadly pass for the most part. Sometimes there's one I can't pass up. Yeah, so that helps. And a lot of my prints are designed by Rifle Paper Company, who's like massively popular. Nearly everyone, it seems like, knows her
Yes.
work and work. So that helps too. I buy what people like, which is Rifle Paper Company. But I also to go with my gut, and like this is a new print that I'm just went on my website today. It's not Rifle Paper Company, but I just thought it was fun and it's colorful and bright, and we'll see if people like it, but I really liked it, so that's what I went with. So I have a lot of that too. It's just sort of a balancing act of like, what do I think people will like, and what do I really like, and what do I want to work with?
Well, I think that all those choices that you have made are so fun. And I think that people might stay tuned to see if there is a zebra print that ends up in that mix at some point this year.
I need
Um,
to know.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yes. All pre-order. We'll get it taken care of. Um, Leah, I wanted to tell everybody one of the things that you and I are working on, and
Yeah.
that is about the Alexandria Makers Market Mother's Day gift set. And you and I are both mothers. I was trying to think of something like if I was receiving a gift from my husband or my children, what what might that what would I enjoy the most?
Yeah.
And you were at the top of my list. And so I reached out to you. And so would you mind holding up? We are going to do one of the flat. Yep, that's the one. Which I'm telling you guys, it's the description says flat, but it really holds a ton. I know because
Expandable.
yeah, it's very expandable. So that is the catch-all pouch
Yeah.
from Modern Tally. And then we have paired that with some earrings from Watermelon Design, and the owner's name is Melanie, so a cute little play
Uh,
on word. So really, really beautiful gold little tassel earrings that she makes, which are going to pair really nicely with that. And so you get a little bit of function, you get a little bit of bling, but it all is going to be put together. And then the good folks at Artisan Matchmaker, we're going to make life easy for you. There, we have Mother Day cards that kind of match in this floral vibe and print. So we'll have the card and the gift ready to go.
that
And
sounds.
Mother's Day is taken care of for you guys. So those are going to be on the website tomorrow. That is only going to be available from pre-order, so that what happens if you're watching at home and you think, oh yeah, that's perfect, that's exactly what I would like for myself or to give as to somebody else, you need to pre-order it, and then that way I can tell Melanie from Watermelon Designs and Leah from Modern Tally exactly how many to make. And I think that we've talked about being mindful about our usage and how we spend our time and things like that. It just helps everybody effectively manage their products. So it needs to be pre-ordered, but it will definitely be available and assembled and giftable by Mother's Day. So all those details will be on Alexandria Makers Market
I love
by
that.
tomorrow. I'm so sorry. Will you say that again? I lost you for a moment.
Oh, I just said I love the earrings. I think this is a really cute
Oh,
box that you.
thanks. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know that I just picked what I would want for Mother's Day. That's how that happened. So I'm just thankful for all the talent that there is in this city, and it was a lot to choose from. But there we go. We'll keep it simple, and hopefully, folks will enjoy that as well. But Leah, if somebody is not looking for Mother's Day and they want to get a hold of you, what are some of the best ways for them to do that?
Yeah, so to place orders, you can go to my website, which is moderntally.com. And you can, oh, if you have questions about anything you see, you can email me, or there's a contact form on the website. And then I'm on Instagram at Modern Tally. And I also, people are always DMing me custom stuff through there as well. So that's the best place to sort of see what's new and see what's going on, behind the scenes kind of stuff. And then if you want to actually buy something, go to my website.
Do you have any plans? Maybe you don't know this answer yet, of any of the in person pop ups or events that might happen this year?
The only thing that I have for sure on my calendar is Art on the Avenue. And they said that this year they're hoping to do an in-person show, which I'm
Yeah.
so excited for. I love Art on the Avenue. So I was just actually looking today at like a craft show from a few years ago, came up, in my Facebook memories, and I was like, I don't remember how to put together a craft show booth. Like, I'm gonna have to relearn how to do this.
Those are going to
So
be our 2021 problems, right? Like,
yes,
how do
remembering.
right, exactly.
That's,
Well,
but I'm really excited about it. So I'll see you in October, everybody.
nobody wait until October to go and check out Leah and her website. And definitely follow her not on Facebook, on Instagram, because she does post these kind of fun behind the scenes videos, and it just really gives a good look at like everything that is involved with what goes into her products. So I think it's really super cool. Leah,
Oh,
I'm so glad you joined me tonight. Thank you so much.
well, thank you. This was so fun.
Yeah, no, you and I will certainly cross paths,
Yeah.
hopefully many times. and hopefully actually in person this year. So
Fingers
I'm
crossed.
really yes, hopefully fingers crossed, but it's going to be great. So thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Yeah, pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. You guys, Leah's the best. She works so hard and her products really just show the love that she puts into them. So I do want to just give that final plug to go and check her out. And then I want you guys to come back to ZTV next week. On Monday, we have Living on Music with Steve Hauk, and his guest is Stephen Moore. Tuesday, there is a special. I hope you know the podcast. We should talk about that. They are going to talk with Mary from the Zebra about the Curbside Dining Facebook group and just how massively popular and important it's become in this city. And Wednesday, we have Legal Matters with Paul Dean Esquire, and he's going to be talking about whether you should use a trust or if a will is sufficient. So that's actually really interesting question that I will tune into. And then Thursday, I will not be here. It will be Trash or Treasure, which is a really fun show to watch. So I really encourage you guys to tune in all next week at 7 o'clock on ZTV Live. And until, sorry, in 2 weeks, I will be actually doing our dinner and DIY show, which we do at the end of each month. And we partner with local restaurants and we get our hands dirty ourselves. And so, you guys, this month we are going to be at Hops and Shine in Del Rey. They have an amazing back patio. I actually was there today enjoying the sunshine for lunch and had a really good time. And it's really close to Earth Day. So we're going to be doing recycled activities. So here's one example. It's going to feel a little like maybe high school. It's going to be great. I don't know if you were doing this when you were in high school, but I certainly was. Here's another one. And so for the first 10 people that come and join us for that taping, I will have all the supplies ready for you. And if you are at home, I will have that supply list on the website. There's nothing that you need to buy. It's like I said, it's all recycled materials, which is great. You need a pair of scissors and just a few other things. So I'll post that on the website as well, hopefully by tomorrow, but it'll be up very soon. And again, I just really love Virginia and Alexandria, which is probably, hopefully obvious by now. But that's where I was going with that. I'm not forcing this shape of Virginia on anybody. You can do your own. But you guys, if I don't, if we don't connect in the next 2 weeks, make sure you can join me back at Dinner and DIY. I will be actually airing from Hops and Shine, and the owner, CJ, he is going to join me. So we're going to learn a little bit more about him as well. And I'm hoping I can get him to get his hands dirty with some of that. It's going to be fun. You guys, in the meantime, go support local as often as possible. Make it Alexandria and go and be the good news in somebody's life.